And hello guys, and welcome back to our round 2 coverage of the Psycho Turtle Collectibles Premier Challenge here at Pico Rivera, California. My name is Cornell, once again joined by Dennis Geisler, heading into round 2 of this tournament, and we have the undisputed champion himself, Gavin Michaels, who's been winning all of these Premier Challenges without losing a single tournament, and going against fellow caster Arnie Wolf on the stream.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Obviously, Gavin has some of that pedigree, but at the same time, I don't know. I like I like a lot of what Arnie's team has to bring here. I think an interesting wrinkle to this battle. Arnie has the Rain Dance Tornadoes to try to set the weather for the Rapid Striker Shifu up against Gavin's team, which is kind of a more rain-oriented team all the time with that Drizzle Pelipper and the Hurricane Salamence. It'll be... I'm curious to see if how often that rain is up over the course of this set, and
it should be
who plays well around it. Yeah,
it should be plenty in terms of rain from both these players. I mean,
both these players want just a little bit of rain is the interesting thing about it. So I'm curious to see how it all matches up.
Like, we saw Gavin with this team last week in Toronto. Only Justin Tang was able to go into the top cut with a team like this. So I love to see the interesting adaptations Gavin had with this team. We see the screen tail, obviously, which I think was not there previously. If set up properly, it could be an annoyance to Arnie's team, which is mostly rain with a back core of Iron Press come all over Laboom. As he crashes up Bidoof into the camera. As we're going to see from Arnie's perspective, we're going to see Gavin going out with the Salamence and Goldango, with Arnie bringing in Tornadus Fluttermane. So we could see the rain mode pop up for Gavin if he chooses to switch out that Goldango for Pelipper for a Hurricane, but I think it's more likely Salamence switches out.
Yeah, I think it is. Salamence is Scarfed. It can get the Tailwind set up if it wants to, but it might get taunted by the Tornadus. Tornadus has a lot of options on what to do right now, whether try to self-set Tailwind so that the Tailwind is neutral if Salamence goes for it, or just try to taunt it, make sure there's no Tailwind.
Instead, no Tailwind. I mean, Tailwind will still come out here, but instead we just see a Terrestrialization from Gavin Salamence going into the Steel type, so this probably signals Iron Head into Fluttermane. Which, even though the Salamence is a special attacker, you do still run Iron Head just to make sure you don't get hit by... Make sure you just knock out Fluttermane before it has a chance to respond at all. Goldango is just going to protect for Gavin. You can see Tailwind come out from Arnie's Tornado, so this Fluttermane does outspeed. It does outspeed after the Scarf, but tried to shot the ball to Goldango, so Iron Head's looking pretty hot right now. Is it this Fluttermane? And it is going to be the Iron Head. Fluttermane is not going to be lasting at all.
Yeah, and that's a very...
Gavin celebrating.
Yeah, I like that first turn there from Gavin. You do still trail now on the Tailwind front, and this Salamence is pretty low value right now. You definitely have to switch it out. That Iron Head is not going to be doing much of anything, which also leaves your Goldango a little bit out to dry, because Tornadus can kind of do whatever it wants, and now your Goldango, who protected last turn, is super about to get Flare Blitzed, I feel.
That just signals then the Salamence switches out for Pelipper, which would reduce the damage.
That is true. Yeah,
Tornadus is actually going to switch out for Arnie's last Pokemon, which it is going to be the Urshifu Rapid Strike coming in for Arnie, so definitely does have the rain mode in mind. Salamence will switch out. Is it going to be that Pelipper coming in, or will it be something different? It is just going to be the Iron Hand, so Goldango, I think to Psyche it's a double switch, or you're probably going down to Flare Blitz. And it is going to be the double switch.
Yeah, which is smart. Can't really let yourself get
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is a Moongus. This is a Moongus.
If a Moongus gets Flare Blitz, that's fine. It's just an Moongus.
It's just a Moongus. That's what you want to say, but that's a quick one-hit knockout. Oh, no. Okay, Arnie responds back with a bang, but now his Iron Hands is set up as a lot of damage is taking my Arcanine thanks to the recoil on Flare Blitz.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's better than letting your Goldango get Flare Blitzed, I think, if you have to pick between two Pokemon to get Flare Blitz. Although you probably could have brought in Iron Hands into that slot and taken quite a bit less damage.
Salamence comes in here, can intimidate on both these Pokemon. Urshifu, no, close combat's not safe against the Goldango switch in. Surging Strikes, I mean, you still have Terra, but the problem is like Iron Hand is a fake out, which leads then to leads to a Hurricane, even though it is not accurate because the rain's not apparent anywhere unless the Tornado sets it up for Gavin. We see Arcanine going to switch out for that Tornadus, obviously, just to reset this move. Maybe buy itself some time to give Urshifu a leeway to go for that Surging Strikes at full power.
Yeah, in general, I don't hate Draco Meteor right here either from Gavin. Just try to... something will take a ton of damage from Draco Meteor.
There's the Tornadus coming in here for Arnie. Salamence gonna double back. Goldango gonna be the switch in to make sure close combat wasn't an option. But what does that mean that the Iron Hands went for a wild charge? And if so, yep, you have to attack just to check to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Drain Punch. Oh yeah, you wanted to knock out the Arcanine, and instead, showing it's a free switch in here. You still have a turn of Tailwind. Although you're still playing mind games between what does the Urshifu do for Arnie and what does the Iron Hands do for Gavin.
Yeah, and I'm curious how much damage the possibility of the Terra Water Surging Strikes does to Goldengo, because that will, I think, fundamentally decide how the end of this battle goes.
Especially with this Intimidate coming in against his Iron Hand, so no matter what, something's taking a lot of damage on that Goldengo slot. It will be itself taking a lot of damage. So that just only leads, does the Intimidate give the Urshifu enough bulk to withstand a wild charge?
Mm-hmm. Or on some level, I wonder how much it takes to like a Shadow Ball.
Maybe as if it survives, because this is the Mystic Water boosted.
Yeah, that's the question. Is Goldengo?
Ooh, that looks close.
It's close.
Let's see what the second one's doing. Yeah, it's not going to be doing enough.
Yeah.
It's not going to be doing enough.
But now, what is the option? What does Goldengo get to do here? Because it
looks over Make It Rain. It's going to be neutral to the Arcanine. It is enough for a knockout because of that rock typing, unfortunately, biting Arcanine in the back.
Yeah. Still, that was well played there by Gavin. You know your limits and are able to play around it. Very, very smart. Very smart.
And that's a double knockout for Gavin, meaning this Tornadus is probably not going to knock out enough Pokemon in time.
I don't think that Tornadus with just Bleak Wind Storm is going to be able to deal with everything remaining. I don't think Tornadus with just Bleak Wind Storm is going to be able to fight Salamence. I don't know what it'll do against the Terra Steel Salamence that's still hanging out back there. Not to mention the potential wild charge.
Well, that does double connect on both Pokemon, but that's all.
Gets rid of the Goldengo.
That's so little damage on the Iron Hands, however, so it might be an important note for Arnie to at least get some damage input on this Iron Hands, and as we see the -1 wild charge still be enough to knock out the Tornadus. We're heading to game 2, Gavin up 1-0.
Yeah, and Gavin just played the beginning of that fight, or that battle very well.
Can I just say the knock-on of Flutter was just huge, and I don't think Arnie was fully expecting the Protect on the Goldango.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true, and even with predicting that it would have been difficult playing the rest of the battle around that, even past that, it felt like, and I guess the interesting thing I wanted to mention, as far as that battle went, Rain did not get up a single time. Pelipper didn't come, and Tornadus never tried to set Rain. I mentioned beforehand, these teams could go Rain and could not go Rain, and it might just be that both teams find it a little too volatile to play for Rain here to really go for it, especially knowing that the other side will be buffed if you decide to set Rain.
That's like one of the more important things that you need to know about handling a Rain team, even as a user, because you need to understand, like, with other Pokemon like Swifts that has Swifts and like Basculegion, Barrascudo, like for example, like you gotta know when to capitalize on your offensive turns. More so on these two teams, like Arnie can go offensive with his Rain mode, with his Urshifu and his Tornadus, but with Gavin, you see him go on like, well, you don't have any Swift when uses, you only really take advantage of Rain for Hurricane and potential, I guess, fire type attacks, but that's really about it, and I really like that from Gavin's team because you're not totally relying on Rain to do everything.
Yeah, exactly. We'll also mention this Como for Arnie is Iron Defense Body Press, Iron Defense Protect, Iron Head Body Press, not the Clangorous Soul variant that we saw in the last game. The nice thing about Como, you do have that flexible decision making, and that last one is soundproof, this one is bulletproof.
I wonder what soundproof was even good for, because you're taking, I guess it's hyper voice. But
Hyper voice broadly, I suppose.
yeah, we see Arnie really debating on what 4 Pokemon to bring. We're not going to see the Urshifu come out from him, interestingly enough. But Tornado's going to be coming in. Como-O and Como-O just, in general, has to find a position where he can just find those body presses. But if it does find the body presses, you have to be really worried about doing that against a Goldengo and a Scream Tail.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what exactly it does to Goldengo. Basically nothing, to be totally honest. But it can sit there and set up for a while.
Well, speaking of setting up, I see an easy setup from Gavin's lead of Iron Hands and Goldengo being that he just go Fake Out and Nasty Plot. With this lead, I mean, you know Tornadus is Cobra Cloak. This is pretty much going to be unpunished.
Yeah, literally what will happen to Goldengo given this lead?
Fluttermane going to come in for the Tornadus, so this is a Wild Charge instead of Fake Out, which I fully expect to Fake Out. Yep, Fake Out into the Como-O. There should be Nasty Plot from the Goldengo, and now Arnie's in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. You really have to... Fluttermane, Choice Specs, Shadow Ball into Goldengo should deal with it. That's a big should.
It should.
Can protect with the Goldengo. Yeah, I can Terra as well, and it becomes a 50-50 on the Terra decision. Goldengo can also protect here. Yeah, Goldengo can just protect the Scout here, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, you just go ahead and Scout to protect, and even if it doesn't work out the way you do, Heavy Slam just does enough damage to knock the Fluttermane in one hit.
Yeah.
We see the double back onto the Fluttermane. Tornado is likely coming back in for that slot. It always Arcanine is going to be going in instead. So we know all of Arnie's Pokemon.
That's fine. It'll reduce what Iron Hands can do, and at this point, Arnie's probably
Arnie's Terastallizing.
Okay. I think Arnie at this point is trying to play slower than Gavin is, trying to build up this Como-O right now.
To build it up, he'll do with that Terra Steel. Make sure that, well, I mean, I guess you resist Make It Rain, but then it just becomes susceptible to a Drain Punch. But that means you just need to get as many Iron Defenses as you possibly can get as the first one goes up. Iron Hands, I mean, probably was an obvious Heavy Slam coming in, but I can also just see just a straight up Wild Charge. I mean, it was just going to be the Heavy Slam. Yeah. Arcanine, not that heavy.
Yeah, and it does very little damage there. You have to remember, Iron Hands is now at -1. Como-O is at +2 defense. That Iron Hands is doing very little damage to Como-O right now, I think. So Como-O can keep getting built up a bit. Yeah, and now, yeah, you genuinely get threatened out by the Como-O.
Salamence comes in for the Intimidate onto this Como-O, although I don't think this is going to completely matter to Body Press's damage output.
The problem is that you need at least some attack in order to deal with Goldengo.
Flare Blitz didn't go into the Goldengo, unfortunately, so it's going to double up into his Iron Hands, and a critical hit!
Okay.
I'm not sure that mattered at all, but either way, Iron Hands is down, and that's a perfectly red switch in for Arnie.
Yeah, absolutely. It did some really good damage there. I guess the issue now is what does Como-O do against some of these Pokemon? What does it do against Goldengo at this point? Because Body Press obviously doesn't do anything, and Iron Head is now at -1 and is already not very effective. I think you just have to kind of work everything else out around. If you're Gavin, you have to work everything else out around the Como-O.
Goldengo protecting again, so definitely doesn't want to take a Flare Blitz
while maintaining your Goldengo.
Draco Meteor comes out, does land on this Arcanine, thankfully.
Like that.
And that's Arcanine going down. Salamence going to really like that trade. Yeah, now just because this Como just can't do anything to this Goldengo unless it Terastallizes. Body Press, oh my goodness, it does a lot more than I was thinking it was going to do, and yet there's a Fluttermane in the back, so... Yeah. Now it just becomes, well, the Salamence now can't do anything to Fluttermane. Goldengo likely gets one shot without a Terra, meaning once again it's a Terra type 50-50 bidding game.
Yeah, I think we're back to the well, actually, here's the issue: if Goldengo Terras, then it gets hit by Body Press. So you just target it with moves for either decision that it makes, and I think Arnie's in a good spot.
Yeah, and there it is, the Terra Dragon on the Goldengo, so...
Because even then, like, it'll take some decent damage against Shadow Ball still, and now it'll get hit by Body Press, which should finish it off.
And, I mean, that Body Press is doing so much damage to Salamence, even even though it was a resistant hit, Shadow Ball does go into the Goldingo slot, so it's just going to be doing... Oh, yeah, that should be more than enough. Nasty Plot. Now it just depends on whether or not this combo did confirm the body press into the Goldingo slot, and it did!
Yeah, I like that decision there from Arnie. You just had to call that out, and even then, like, that was very good damage, and at this point, you have your Flutter Mane locked into Shadow Ball, which is fine up against what's remaining. You have your Komao with no terrible targets for your body press. I think Arnie's in a good spot to win this.
Oh, yeah, there's a forfeit from Gavin.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad decision by Gavin. I didn't see a win condition remaining. I didn't see a way for Salamence to really get rid of the Komao, let alone everything else.
It would have been one way, but it would have had been a lot of luck involved in it.
Yeah, certainly.
Which would have been Hurricane. Which
it would have ended up being Hurricane. Just lots and lots of Hurricanes combined with trying to keep Salamance's HP high with Pollen Puff. I don't think any of us wanted to try to play that one out. So.
Well, I mean, I bet there are like some people that would have willingly tried to play that out, but unfortunately, Gavin isn't that person. So now,
in any case, I like what Arnie threw.
He's just locking that in 10 seconds.
Sometimes you know. When you know, you know.
And now that we know about the Komao being the biggest problem for Gavin, it's like, well, heading into this game number 3. Obviously, I think Goldingo's your win condition in here, but also you have to really keep in mind that Iron Hands also went down to a double target. So
yeah.
Is it going to come down to whether or not the Screen Tail can do anything, or do we just try to hope that we get enough damage from the Iron Hands and the Goldingo to do anything?
Yeah, I mean, you do have a Scream Tail with both Encore and Disable, which can really hurt something like Komao with the... that is a lot more slow and passive. Can also play around the Amoonguss. The Amoonguss isn't a bad matchup into the Komao at all. Not that Komao is here right now.
No, it isn't. It is just going to be Tornadus Arcanine for Arnie, and Gavin's going to lead Goldingo and Amoonguss, so although this is a free turn to go for Rage Powder Nasty Plot, that is just a knockout waiting to happen. And it just comes down to whether or not who plays this, honestly, who plays more riskier?
Bidoof is so excited. Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, Rage Powder Nasty Plot is pretty free here, although you have to make sure that you don't then just get knocked out the next turn. Be taunt. Not that I don't think that matters.
Probably just check to make sure Spore didn't come out anyway.
That's true.
Where Blitz into this Amoonguss should be an easy one-hit knockout. We saw that from before. Thankfully, we don't have the Belding.
Yeah. I'm sad I don't get the Belding. That's I like the Belding.
No, that's a lot of recoil damage onto this Arcanine once again, and now Goldingo can stop this Nasty Plot. I mean, Tailwind's pretty free here for both sides if the Salamence comes in for Gavin. Iron Hands instead.
Okay.
So...
I don't dislike this. It means
it means you can fake out Making Rain.
Yeah, it means you can fake out the Arcanine and then get your Goldingo actually cooking, actually doing damage, which is the big thing here.
And that's the thing that's going to make Gavin win this game with this Nasty Plot Make It Rain.
I mean, that was one of the struggles in the last game, is that the Flutter Mane was deceptively difficult to deal with because it was able to switch out so much despite it being choiced. You have to make sure that that choice specs Flutter Mane is locked into what it can do as quickly as possible.
Make It Rain comes out. There should be a double knock at the both Pokemon pretty comfortably. But Tornadus did get a Tailwind off before it fainted. Yeah,
it did get the Tailwind off. That's certainly valuable, but not insanely valuable. At this point now, I think Goldingo can just kind of protect to scout. And...
Komao Flutter Mane in the back, so...
Yeah.
Now, I mean... Well, the Komao is not set up. Like the last game.
Komo's not set up is the thing. The Komo's not set up, and the Flutter Mane will be locked into one move. And if you are... Gavin, I think you just scout right now and see
if you're scouting with the Goldingo, though, what does that mean for the Iron Hands? Do you just heavy slam the Flutter Mane, and you know that's like the most freest thing you could do, or do you just risk fainting to a Choice Specs Moonblast with Terra?
Yeah. At worst, yeah. We don't know what the last Pokemon in the back is, I suppose. Iron Hands will struggle to take too many hits here. It could just try to, yeah. What damage do you have against the Como is the question. I guess you have to focus the Flutter Mane.
Yeah, because I think this is a very
Iron Hands has to hit the Flutter Mane.
Yeah, this might be a very obvious protect coming in from this Goldingo, so just be Moonblast into the Iron Hands, there's nothing it could do. And Terrestrialization from Arnie is going to be boosting that Flutter Mane's damage up with that Fairy.
Yeah.
The bigger question really just becomes...
Now how much does it do against Goldengo?
Or Goldingo protected at all.
Yeah. Well, how much will it do against Goldengo down the line? Because you're locked.
There's a Terra.
Yeah.
Gavin, if this is Iron Hands, it is Iron Hands, so it is going to be your Star Even turn, so that covers it perfectly. So Terra Water, going to make sure that Iron Hands does not get one hit knocked out by a Moonblast. Does that mean the Goldingo protected at all?
Potentially not, yeah. I don't see any reason not to. I think you're in a safe enough spot here where, yeah, now if it's locked into a Fairy move, even Terra Fairy, I'm curious how much that would even do to Goldengo.
Just half
Iron
damage to Iron Hands. Iron defense does go up, but I think this Flutter Mane is just going to fall prey to a heavy slam.
Yeah, exactly. And at that point, you don't do nothing to Goldengo.
Yeah, that's unfortunately how the cookie crumbles. I guess we all tunnel vision into thinking that the Goldengo was going to go beyond the Terra, but instead the Iron Hand's just going to Terra. Goldengo really is now the win condition for Gavin.
I mean, yeah, if you're Gavin, you can just click Nasty Plot 3 times and then click Make It Rain, and what does Arnie do about that? Iron Head? Like, there just isn't really a way out of this one, I think.
Yeah, here we go, Make It Rain.
Or just keep clicking Make It Rain, there's no reason
not
enough! To, yeah. I just struggle to see what Como can do here. It would have to get the most Iron Head flinches of all time. And even then, I don't even know if it would out-damage Leftovers by that much.
And including this, the Salamence.
Including the Salamence, yeah. We may just see the Game Ender Draco Meteor.
Yeah, that's unfortunately just how the game just crumbles. As both these players are currently having a discussion about the game or whatever is going on. And that's just going to be Gavin winning the set 2-1.
Yeah.
Leaving him at a 2-0 record and continuing his undisputed championship status.
Yeah, and that's this is really well played by both sides here. I think it was interesting the way that both players kind of had their start of game reads. These are two teams that can play very well from early spots in the game. In this case, I mean, we had Goldengo get a Nasty Plot up and then get a Make It Rain off virtually free pretty early on, and since it was able to do that, I think that just broadly, I really liked the way that Gavin and Arnie, in the one game that Arnie won, played around those early game conditions in ways that you don't see a ton of in this regulation, because there are so many like decent middle length Pokemon that are kind of around right now.
Yeah, that's going to be doing it for our round 2 coverage here. Round 3 is going to be coming up shortly after this break we're going to be taking, so you don't want to go anywhere. You want to see the Undisputed Champ win another championship, go ahead and stay tuned to the stream. We'll see you guys soon.